record button. Everything's lagging.
That's not good.
Having to reboot it. There we go.
Yeah.
What's your roster construction grade? Well, I got my thoughts. We're gonna see what Coach thinks or whatever on 94 feet of UNC.
Gordy to Black. The time, 18. Shot, Jordan! Michael Jordan!
Swicker with the defense and the rebound. That's a good effort by Swicker.
Stackout streaking in on Parks. Rebound stuck is good, and he gets fouled by Parks. Oh my goodness, what a dunk by Stackout.
I think that he brought him back so quickly, but you know what? They're down the in fairness. You can't teach that high-rising ability.
3. And Green rips down the rebound in traffic. 4-on-1.
Great job. What a terrific job in transition. I mean, you could.
The glass no good. Rebound followed by Hansbrough. Good! Carolina.
Inside 30 overall. Love, top of the key.
Alice, the bounce is over. Carolina. The Tar Heels have won the national championship.
And that is it. There is a new team in college basketball. North Carolina takes the title.
Happen any final. North Carolina is the 2009 national champion.
And this year, the confetti is going to fall to North Carolina. They're not going to be denied this time.
What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the 94 feet of UNC podcast. Of course, I am your host, Lindsay Graham. Got of course, my one of my favorite special guests is in the building with me again. He's very familiar with this area and where he's at. Of course, Coach Rob is with me today or whatever. But before we get into some things that we're going to discuss today, listen, I appreciate all the love and support, of course, from everybody. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on my socials at 94 feet of UNC. Also, listen, everybody, y'all asked for it. I deliver. We got 94 feet of UNC merch. Coach, I got to get you some stuff. We're going to talk about that. We're going to make sure I get you some stuff for sure. But we got some bumper stickers. We got some coffee mugs. You know, they also come in black. We got some drinking containers, 32-ounce stainless steel containers. This one says 100 yards on it for the football, but you can also get it with basketball. It also comes in black. We got our T-shirts. Let me make sure I can get this here. We got some T-shirts going on here, some 94 feet of UNC T-shirts. This is black. Of course, I got on the navy blue. You can also get it in white, gray, Carolina blue, and it's one more color, but I can't remember. And we got some Chapel Bills shirts. No football season is coming up, so make sure y'all get y'all some football Chapel Bills shirts and everything. Coach, of course, it's always a pleasure to have you here back at the Zell Dome. You know, you're not unfamiliar with this territory. So, of course, welcome back. How's things been? And, you know, what's been going on during the off season?
Yeah, there's really no off season now. We lost almost our entire roster. We lost. I guess we bring back one starter and 2 of the top 10. So we've been busy. Usually, in Hubert's words, May is the month of me, where we kind of get a chance to get a break, but we just didn't get that break this year. So just had our first camp here at Milligan last week, and still got 2 slots to fill on varsity and 2 slots to fill on JV. So we're not getting a whole lot of break right now, but leave on the 20th to go down to Chapel Hill and come down and get started for camp down there. So I'm excited about that. And the book's doing well. The book just hit 500 copies sold on there you go. So just hit 500 on Amazon this week. So I'm excited about it. I'm really looking forward to I haven't been to Chapel Hill since it's come out. Well, I came down for, our JV play, but I haven't been able to come down to actually push the book. So I'm looking forward to that too.
That's going to be some great times, Coach. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to make my way to Chapel Hill to get over and see you. And, maybe we grab, like you said, grab something to eat or, just kind of sit back and relax a little bit. I know you're going to be a busy man and everything, so I ain't going to hold you up too much, but we going to figure some things out for sure. I was just about to plug the book. I was about to ask you, Coach, I know you got the book sitting there right beside you. Like, I know how it goes. I watch you and Isaac all the time. You know how that goes.
But hey, the really cool thing about it is at the Final Four, I just carry them around with me. I always have, carry my bag. I got a couple on me all the time. Ran into Ernie Johnson on the plane and was able to give a book to Ernie. Ran into Jay Billis at the Alamo of all places, and was able to sign him a book. So a former player of mine, Tony Orr, he runs in some pretty big circles, and was able to give MJ a book. Now I don't know what MJ did with it. He may have thrown it out, but at least I know he got one. So
Right.
it's been a cool thing. It's been everything that I wanted it to be, and I'm just real happy with where it is. And if nothing else happens, I'm cool with the ride. It's been a lot of fun.
Listen. I can't be more proud than you, Coach. Than words can express how proud of you I am. I mean, I'm trying to get to this level one day, which is why the way that I do these shows, I try to do them in a certain type of order. That way it'll make it easier for me to be able to write minds maybe in the future and go from chapter to chapter, just like I do with episode to episode. So, I mean, hey.
Make sure you get a shout out. Get a shout out when you do that. That's all I ask.
You already know. You already know. Of course, you're going to be in the book. I mean, everybody that comes on the show is going to be in the book for sure. So, but that's going to be some great times. But that's a little bit down the road, a little bit further down the road. So we'll figure some things out, though. We'll make some things happen. But I'm going to get you a package of some merch and everything. Or I'm going to try and bring some with me when I come and see you or whatever, sometime either next week or something like that. Now, how long is camp? Camp would be what, a week?
It's 9 days. I'll be there from the 20th to the 28th with Montrose camp in between. So because of some of the new regulations, they've shortened camp a little bit, but I'll be there from the 20th to the 28th straight through.
Okay. Now I got that in my head, but of course we'll talk off air as far as times and figuring some things out for sure. So, but I'm looking forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Can't wait to see how things go and how things are operated, I guess, and things like that when it comes to camp or whatever. Might even see some big faces down there. You never know. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm sure you got some special guests coming through, Coach. I know you do.
Well,
That'll work. So listen, Coach, today we're going to talk about roster construction and what grade you will give this upcoming season's team. And of course, I always got to ask you your X Factor players. But before we jump into that X Factor player, like let's discuss the roster construction as a whole, as itself. So how do you feel about it? And things like that. And what things do you see improvement that we've improved on, where we might still be lacking, if there are any areas or whatever the case may be. So how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm at a B+. I know we swung and missed at a lot of big names. And people are upset. They don't think we're talented enough right now. And I use we like I'm a Carolina, staff person. I'm not. But that's just the easier way to talk about it. I think they've done a great job with Vasar. I think he's going to be a stud at the 5. Obviously, getting Luka here late. I'm a little concerned about him. I had a little conversation about him this week. There's just a lot of paperwork going on, and it's just going to drag on. He's not going to be there probably for camp. It's just going to take him a while to get here. So I'm a little concerned because this is the time we really gel. This is the time we get to hang out and really spend a lot of time together. And if he's not there, I'm not concerned. I just wish he was there. I think that's the big thing.
Right.
Kai and Evans is a great addition. I love Jonathan Powell. I love Jaden Young. Caleb Wilson's, again, I think he's just a stud. And getting Jaron Stevenson, I think, again, there's the additions are big, long, athletic, and the shooters are there now. We get and then you put Seth Trimble into that mix and allow him just to be able to do what he does and get in the lane and just create. I still think it's a really good team. It may not be a top 5 team right now, but again, you look at some of the teams that Carolina has had. I used the 2017 team. That wasn't a ton of talent in that team. You wouldn't say it was overly talented. Obviously, there's some really great players, but boy, that team just came together and played great together. That's what I see with this team. Even just the little highlights I've seen on practice, seem like the guys just have a lot of energy. They're making shots, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get down there and see the guys play in person.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be very exciting. Like I've told everybody, even right before the season ended last season, I told everybody like, listen, you're gonna see a totally different UNC team come next season. You're gonna see like Coach Davis is going to set things up to where you're gonna see like many different styles of basketball on the court. Like you might see all big team starting, coming into the game, playing some minutes. You might see the small part of the team, as far as running up and down the court. You're gonna see a fast team, slow team, half court team, transition type team. I mean, full court press type team. Like there's so many different options that we have for this upcoming season. And of course, with the having a big man solves a lot of things, something that we lacked last year. But with this year, now that when I look at it, I mean, you probably got about 3 guys that you could definitely put in that 5 position if need be. With Vazar and Stevenson, who could play a 5 at times. But then you got James Brown also coming off the bench, who is very vocal. That's something that this team didn't have last year at all either. Nobody that was really vocal like that. But the more and more that you look at, these guys and you see highlights of them from previous teams, they got some grit to them. They got some edge to them. And I can see that transitioning over into Carolina basketball, which is a good thing because majority of the players on the team got some edge to them. They look like they could be very vocal and everything. So that's going to play a huge part with this team this upcoming season. I would probably go as far as my grade. And I caught a lot of backlash for this. We did a Twitter Spaces a while ago, and I caught some backlash for this. But I gave him a B, which is still not bad. But a lot of people was like, wait a minute, like, why would you give him a B? And my thing is, I mean, well, things are yet to be seen. Like you said, number one, we missed out on the big name players, which is fine because there we go. I don't know what happened, Coach. Since the technical difficulties going on with StreamYard, man. StreamYard, y'all got to get it together, man. Like, I don't know what happened there. You can still hear me, though, right, Coach?
It's good to have you back.
Okay, good. But yeah, so I mean, a lot of people thought that I was crazy for saying a B, but I mean, we have yet to see what this team is going to be like. But we don't have the big name players, but I think we got some really good pieces that fit. And I tell people all the time, you don't have to have big name players to be a really, really, really good team. Long as you got good players that all fit and that gel together, like you say, you can really do some things and you could turn out to be a great team. I think a lot of people are underestimating us though for this season. So which is fine because we'll take that because we like to prove ourselves. So I mean, what you think?
No, I definitely agree. And I think Hubert did a great job of getting Carolina kids, guys who want to be at Carolina and more about the team and more about the brand than they are about themselves. And not that it's been bad the last couple of years, but I think this group really appreciates being part of Carolina history, being part of that program. And I think in college basketball, I think it's the greatest organization to be part of. I'm biased. I understand that. But to be part of this fraternity for life, I think these guys really appreciate that. So there are some questions. How good is Luka how's he gonna fit with everybody? How's he gonna play, in a college system? I think those are the type of questions. The freshmen, how good are those freshman guards gonna be? I love them. I think they're really, really good, but how quickly can they make an adjustment to the college game? So there are some questions that we just don't know about. Again, I beat this to a horse, I know, but getting to see them play in person next week is going to answer a lot of questions for me. 2 weeks from now, I'll have a much better opinion about really where this squad's going. But right now, I'm very optimistic. I love the group that they have. I love the shooting, especially. I think that's the big thing. Maybe the biggest thing that they made, a difference with is just got a bunch of guys who can just flat out shoot it. So
Yeah.
when if you can shoot, you can stay in all kinds of games. And the real coach Steve Robinson, he used to talk about don't shoot, can't shoot, don't recruit. And this is a group that obviously they all can shoot it, and they'll be able to spread the floor. And I think it's going to be a really exciting style of play. I think we're going to enjoy watching this group play.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let me ask you this, Coach: how deep do you think Coach Davis goes this year with the bench? Because they always say having a lot of pieces is good. It's a good problem to have, but at the same time, sometimes it can be a bad problem too, because you got so many players that might not get no playing time like that or see the court like that as much. So how deep do you think Coach Davis may go this season?
We had a conversation a couple of years ago. During camp, we tried to get an hour, just the two of us in the office, just talking basketball. And he got me an hour last year. 2 years ago, didn't, but 3 years ago we did. And that was one of the things we talked about is how much talent do you really want to have? And if you have guys that are disgruntled, it can really, that one bad apple can spoil the bunch. And he didn't want to have, 13 full scholarships given out. He wanted to save a spot or two, just to make sure that he didn't have that disgruntled guy at the end. But 10, 9, 10, I think is about the max that he's going to go. I could see him shorten it down towards the end of the year where it may get down to 8. But I think early on you want to see everybody get a chance to play. But it's hard to play more than 10 guys. I attest to that. But you want to be able to have guys that are ready regardless when that guy does go down, or that guy gets sick, or whether he just gets in foul trouble. You need somebody to step up and be ready to go. So I do think Zayden High is going to be a different guy. I think he's kind of been gone, and I think he'll come back with a little different focus. I hope. And James Brown is one of my guys. I love him, and I know he wasn't ready yet last year, but that's one of the main things I'm going to look at when we get down there is watch his progression from last year to now and see how his body has changed and how his game has changed. So I'm looking for big things from James Brown this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think what's the most exciting thing, like you said, with especially with High and Brown, is the fact that with High coming in or coming back, he's gonna have that opportunity to actually practice against an actual big that is much bigger than him and much taller than him, which is going to do nothing but make him better. And same thing with Brown, in regards to his agility and being able to move his feet, things like that. You now have that big body to go up against in practice. Whereas with last year, you had Lubin, but Brown was he's a little taller than Lubin. But I mean, now you actually got somebody that's taller than you that can really contest your shots, things like that. But that doesn't do anything but just make you a better player. So I'm real excited to see it. I'm like you. I'm excited to see what the both of them are going to be able to present and bring to the team next season. I could say that for Stevenson, but I look at Stevenson more to play more a 3 or 4 than to play a 5, unless they decide to go small or something like that. Then you could probably put Stevenson in at the 5, but still another. I mean, going up against somebody that's 7'2", I think, with Vazar. When you're in practice, it's a little bit different because he's an actual big that is good to go up against when it comes to practicing to try and make you better. So I'm excited. I am super excited. So I got to ask you. I got to ask you. So I'm 1 for 1 right now. Well, I'm 1-0 right now when it comes to my X Factor player. If you recall, last time that this time of the year, around this time of the year last year, I mentioned who my X Factor player was, and it turned out that I think I was actually right. You remember who that was?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Who was it?
Jalen Withers.
Okay. Now he played great. I thought he was the difference last year. And again, my guy that I love, Drake Powell. I hate that he's leaving. And I fell in love with him as a player the first time I got to meet him because he's just such a great kid. And it's just like, man, this he was mature, and I'm like, this is the dude. I mean, this is, and again, he's a Carolina guy. I love Carolina. He loved everything about it, but at the same time, he had to make that move. But man, Withers played great, and after the year before ended the way it did with him making it, bad decision, but for him to come back and do everything he did was just an amazing testament to him. What a great year. And I think, yeah, you're right. He was probably the X factor. Probably won't be the X factor this coming year, obviously. But time for somebody else to step up.
That is true. That is true. So with that being said, I got to ask you, who's your X factor player for this year?
My X factor is Caleb Wilson. And I think he's just going to explode. And again, I haven't seen him in person yet. I will see him soon. But he's got all the tools. He's got that energy. He's got all that, the X factors that we talk about as a person. So let's make him the X factor as a team. I just think he's going to be great. I think he's going to demand being on the floor. I think Stevenson is that Swiss Army knife. I think he'll play a little bit of everything and he may be that glue guy, but I think Caleb Wilson, he's the guy that I'm most excited to see play next week.
Okay. So Coach goes with Caleb Wilson. He had Drake Powell last year. You got Caleb Wilson this year. I had Jalen Withers last year. So, Coach, this might be a big shocker to you as far as who my X Factor player is. I think our X Factor player is Jaden Young.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is because, and don't get me wrong, a lot of people, I caught a lot of backlash for this as well. I'm not saying that it's actually going to happen, but I actually told quite a few people that he could actually move into a starting 2 position. The reason why I say that is because, number one, he's 6'4". He's big body. He's solid. He's probably just as big as Seth Trimble. I think he shoots now. He might not be as athletic or a better defender as Trimble, but I think he shoots better than Trimble, and I think his defense is pretty solid. I think he's just a better overall player than Seth Trimble is, because we have yet to see how Seth is going to transition to the next level in regards to his shooting. I think Seth has to be at least around between 36 and 38, 39% with this 3-point shooting and just his shooting period. I mean, Elliot Godot shot better than Seth Trimble did last year, which is a lot. I don't know if a lot of people actually know that. So I got to see what Trimble is going to do on the offensive end. Other than that, I mean, his game is solid. I mean, you can't take nothing away from him with his defense, things like that. But if you're going to be the 2 guard, to me, I've always been told shooting guards shoot. And if you're going to be the 2 guard, you got to shoot. So I'm interested to see what Trimble does as far as taking that next step, especially with this being his last season. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jaden Young ended up as the starting 2 guard. What do you think?
I think it's Seth's spot early just because of the Carolina tradition of having returners, so I think it's his now. Right. It may not be his in October, November, but I think right now it's his to lose. Can Luka play the 1 a little bit? Maybe he can, just watching film, it seems like he's got the ball in his hands a lot. I still think Kyan Evans is going to be the guy, at least to start with. Seth can play a little bit everywhere. I think he can handle the point for time. I think he could play the 3, depending if they did want to go small and really get after people. The defensive station at Montrose campus is where I am. I've been there forever. And I had Seth with me as my guy last year. And just being around him, he's just a great guy. I mean, the kids loved him, and just being able to spend time with him. But he is, in my opinion, the best on-ball defender that they have. When you have that kind of defense, he's got to be on the floor.
Right.
So I know you love that shooting. from a coach's perspective, I love that defense. I love that lockdown guy, and you got to have your best defender on their best guard. And I think Seth will play just because his defense is superior right now. But yeah, I like that. I like that pick. I'd love to see Jonathan Powell maybe get some minutes early in the year too to see where he fits in. I'm excited about. And again, they're big guards. They're long, athletic guys who can shoot. And are skilled. It's not just shoot the three; they can score too. It's not like they're just standstill shooters and can't do anything else. So the two of those guys, I think it's just it's going to be a battle every day in practice. And one of the things we talk about, you've got to be competitive in practice to be competitive against your opponent. And I think that's maybe the biggest difference now. There's just going to be great battles in practice at each spot, except for maybe the five. I think, Henry's got that, I think, pretty much locked in. But everybody else is going to have to come to practice and fight every day just to get minutes. So I think that's what's exciting about next year.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's like you said, I would love to just be able to sit in on practice one day, or, just to see how they go up against each other, as far as, and not only that, but I think that this is going to be a solid defensive team. Like you said, I mean, Coach Davis said he wanted to go big last season. He wanted to go big this season. Well, he went big. And I think not only did he go big, but he also went athletic. I mean, Henry Vezar can get up and down the court. Like, he's not a slow-moving type of center, if you ask me, especially when I look at his highlights and things like that. Stevenson can get up and down the court. We already know how athletic Caleb Wilson is. Dennis Dixon, I'm sure that they could get up and down the court. Powell can get up and down the court. Luka could get up and down the court. So we have so many weapons that it's just going to be, I think it's going to be tough to beat us. Like, I really do, because we could go so many directions with so many different type of lineups and so many style plays that it's just going to confuse so many teams that they're not going to know what to do. Like, soon as they get accustomed to one lineup, then here comes another lineup, and now they're playing a totally different style of basketball. Like, it might be a half court, to where the team that was in there might have been a fast team. So it's like, okay, you got to play quickness with quickness. But now that that's out of the way, now we got a team that plays half court and they're big. Like, it's going to really confuse the opponents, if you ask me. I mean, I could be wrong, Coach. I mean, I'm just a guy looking from the outside in. I mean, you would know a whole lot better than I would, being a coach, for sure.
Now, here's one of the things that I would love to see them do. Coach John McClendon, Coach Mack. I don't know if you know much about him, but he was the first African-American ever to win an integrated national championship. He was part of the secret game with North Carolina, was Central and Duke Medical back in the day. And he was the first African-American to be on the U.S. Olympic coaching, staff. And I got a chance to do some camps with him when I was right out of college, and we became friends. And he had, the way he won his national championships at Tennessee A&I, he had a big group and he had a small group, and they were called the Mighty Mites. And he put the Mighty Mites in, and they would press like crazy and wear people out. Then he would put his big group in and go zone and force people to shoot shots with tired legs. And by the time they kind of maybe got used to it again, he'd bring the Mighty Mites back in, and then they would press like crazy again. And he was really the innovator of fast break basketball. And the truth is, he had a lot to do with the whole four corners. I know Coach Smith, he made it famous, but Coach Mack was really the one who first did that. And that sounds like blasphemy, I know, for Carolina website, but Coach Mack was an innovator, and was in the Hall of Fame because of it. But that whole philosophy of being able to play quick, play slow, and everybody wants to play fast. I like to control tempo. I like to play fast when I want to play fast. I like to play slow when I want to play slow, especially when you have a lead late in the game. You want to control the ball and control tempo. But I would love to see, and I think Carolina's got the roster to be able to do that. They could go big. They could go small. They could play fast. They can go slow. They could go zone if they want to. I know they played a little bit of zone last year, and it was awful. And coach just didn't trust it. And obviously, if you don't trust it as a coach, you're not going to do it for very long. But they've got the pieces to do a lot of different things. And this is the time, June, July, August for them, where they can kind of figure out kind of that stuff, what they have, what they can do. So I'm hoping that they mix it up. I love variety and change. Coach Smith was a variety and change type guy, and I would love to see Hubert get into more of that variety and change.
Yeah, yeah. Again, this team is going to be very exciting to watch. It's not this isn't one of those type of seasons that people probably think that it's going to be, and a lot of people are just in for a rude awakening if they think that they just gonna continue to trample over or beat North Carolina like they thought that they was going to do. You're in for a rude awakening. I mean, you're dealing with a team now that has a lot of grit, a lot of edge to it, that is big, and that has a huge, I don't even know if I want to call it a chip on their shoulder, but they got something on their shoulder that is it's probably not sitting too well with them, considering the fact that they, I'm sure that a lot of them know as far as what's going on in the media and things like that. Now, Coach Davis, of course, he does a great job with telling them to kind of tune out the media and stuff like that. But there's still no way that they can't possibly hear or see something. So, and that can create a chip for sure. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting to see. I got to ask you, what do you think your projected starting line or the projected starting lineup would be?
I think Evans is going to be the point guard to start with, and I do think Seth will start at the 2. If Luka gets here in time for him to be able to mesh with the guys, I think he's your 3. Going to be hard to keep Caleb Wilson off the floor. I just think he's the 4. I think you slide him in there, you just play him, and the quicker he can adapt to the game and the more minutes he gets, I think the better he's going to get right away. He's going to be a different player in January than he is in November. And I think by the time April comes around, he could be, a real stud. I just think he's really, really good. And then Henry at the 5. That's what I see right now. Stevenson's probably your first big off the bench. Jaden Young, Jonathan Powell will fight for that first guard off the bench spot. And then you got the 2 freshman guards that are going to, I think they're sneaky. They could be a factor along the way. They may not get a whole lot of minutes early, but I think those guys they're hungry and they're talented and they're going to find a way to get some minutes along the way.
Yeah. So I threw out a different 5, right? I of course, I mean the lineup that you just mentioned, of course, that's the one that's been floating around that I've seen on social media, just having talks with a whole lot of different people, of course, was, Cayenne, Seth, Luka, Caleb, and Vezar. But I got a little different lineup than that. And the only reason why is because a lot of people think that I've been kind of crazy, I guess, for saying that Caleb Wilson could play the 3. I think he's athletic enough. I think he's because I mean he's very quick. He's lengthy enough to get to his spots. I think he can guard a 3 even at 6'9". I mean, he's just like you said, like with Stevenson, he's like a Swiss Army knife. Now, if he could create more of a jump shot and a 3-point shot as well, I don't see nothing wrong with him playing the 3. And then you bring Stevenson in at the 4 that can be a stretch 4, and then you put Vezar at the 5 with Trimble and Cayenne or whatever. But again, I understand that Luka being the pure sharpshooter that he is, but Jonathan Powell is also a sharpshooter as well. So I mean, it would be tough, with the 2 of them sharing that 3 spot. I think that's what it's going to come down to. But I'm more so sold on Wilson at the 4, Vezar at the 5, and then between Luka and Powell, you figure out who your 3 is going to be, because they about neck and neck. They about neck and neck to me. But it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. What do you think?
No, I think that's a reasonable. I think that's why I'm so excited about getting down and seeing how they're competing right now. And, it's like, we're on the outside, so we're just trying to make, assumptions of how things are going, estimates. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how they compete against each other, where the chemistry is at right now, and seeing how they're competing against each other on a daily basis. So those open gym runs in the next, 2 weeks from now, it's going to be a lot of fun to see them in person and really get a chance to see how good they are.
Yeah, for sure. I got to get over there. I wasn't able to make it last season, but I got to get over there this time. I can't miss that this time. It's too much that I'm excited to see. And like you said, again, it's all about gelling together. I mean, to see how this team gels together, to see a lot of their strengths, see what weaknesses they may have. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be an exciting season for UNC fans. Like, just get ready. I mean, especially coming off of what I think is going to be a successful football season. Of course, with Coach Belichick, football is going to be very live this year. This might be the most energetic football season that I've ever seen at UNC coming up this season. And of course, mainly because of Coach Belichick and just the genius mind that he has when it comes to football, and, just the football fans just being very excited for UNC football again. And then you turn around and you have a very successful, exciting, anticipated basketball season following that. Right after that, yeah, Chapel Hill's going to be on fire, Coach. It's going to be on fire.
They set the tone for the whole year is how they do, that football. And when they're playing well and those recruits come in and see that atmosphere and be part of that, it makes recruiting a whole lot easier for that staff. So that's a huge get for them. And I'm hoping he can deliver what everybody's expecting him to deliver.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now, Coach, I got one more thing that I actually wanted to share with you real quick before we get out of here. And I want to know, how do you feel about this? Of course, shout out to Isaac Shade, my guy at Locked On Tar Heels, like for creating this. Like, I love when Isaac puts this together, but I just want to get your thoughts on, how do you feel about this non-conference schedule?
I think it's a much better put together schedule than they had in the past. Hubert loves to play, a huge national schedule, and they've got some really tough matchups, but they also have some games with so many new guys. You have to have a game or two that you can play 12, 13 guys and get to see everybody, and not just play, a Derek Dixon, a freshman, for 3 or 4 minutes at the end of the game, but put them in the first half and get them 10, 15 minutes and allow those guys just to get some run. And I think they've done a good job of balancing off, games you're going to win and games that are going to be challenging to help that RPI and that, the national ranking type stuff. So I like it. I like it a lot. I'm hoping to get to Atlanta. I don't know if you knew this, but one of my starting post player last year just signed with St. John's. So he'll be down in Atlanta that same weekend. So I'm hoping to get down and get a chance to see him play, and then also get a chance to see the Heels play at the same time. So I do. I love the roster. I love the schedule. And I think it's just, it's lined up to be a really, really special year.
Yeah. It's of course, we already know what the season was like last year. Well, the schedule was last year. I mean, it was a gauntlet. It was brutal. And if you ask me, I think Duke took on the realms of that this upcoming season, because their non-conference schedule is lethal. It really is. In regards to our schedule this year, I think that, like you said, we got a lot of games where you could throw in the guys that, instead of, like you said, Derek Dixon getting 3 minutes, then put him in the first half, get you 15 minutes. But it's a good time to really see and showcase what each player has. And like you said, we got enough games for them to be able to do that, and for Coach Davis to kind of spread that out in regards to, seeing how these guys are gonna play. Once again, picking out their weaknesses, their strengths, and things like that. So, But of course, I mean, I think we will both agree the toughest game on this schedule would be Kentucky.
My son-in-law is from Kentucky and is a huge Kentucky fan. I have one of my players who's also from Kentucky. He actually sent me a message about it today. So that to me is a very personal game. I need them to win that game just so I can save face here in the house. So no, that's a huge game. I love it. I love that it's at Rupp. I think it'll be a great challenge, and they'll have time to get some experience. Some of those young kids will get some great experience before then, and I think they'll be ready to take on that task. But I think it's, again, great challenge early in the year. Get a chance to show how they are on a national level. So I'm excited about it. I think it's a great draw for them.
So I got to ask you, without us knowing who this 13th team is going to be, because that could turn around and be another gauntlet team. It really could, top 25 team. We don't know just yet. But out of these 12 games, what would you project the record to be out of the 12 games?
The 12 non-conference games?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a 9-3, 10-2, 9-3. I think that gives them the opportunity. I do. I think they're ready for that. I know there's some tough games in there. And there's some games in there that you just know you're going to win. But I could see a 10-2 maybe stretch a little bit, but 9-3 I think is a real possibility.
Coach, I got to ask you, and I'm curious because I was not expecting that, but I got to ask you, if you see 3 losses, what 3 losses would you see?
You're going to challenge my eyes right now to be able to see the schedule. The Kentucky game in Rupp's going to be tough. Let's be honest.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, that's just one of those. Who do they play in Atlanta? I know Michigan State's on the schedule as well. That's going to be a tough game. I would love to think that we can beat Kansas at home, especially Kansas has not really recruited great. They've had a lot of the same issues. A lot of guys leaving, a lot of swings and misses at some of those top talents. But I think those 2 games are going to be really, really tough. And I feel good about this roster. I feel good about the year, and I just feel like it's going to be special. And I think that 10-2, 9-3 is probably a legitimate shot for him right now.
So, Coach, you want to know what the projected record that I have for him?
What you got?
Of course, I got 2. I see either 12-0 or 11-1.
Okay. Who do you got them losing to?
If they were to pick up a loss, I think it would be to Kentucky. But as far as any of the rest of these games on here, I don't really see a lot of competition. Maybe a couple of or 1 or 2 tough, but I see Carolina prevailing. Like, I mean, of course, the Central Arkansas, Radfords, to me, those are given. I think we beat Kansas. I think it's time. We're in Chapel Hill. We got a totally different team. Kansas is they've had, like you said, had a lot of the same issues that we've had, losing players, not really recruiting like they should. So I think we win that game. I think we beat Michigan State. Michigan State is nowhere as near as good as what they were last season. They've lost a lot, and I mean, they got some decent players, but I still think that last year's team is 10 times better than what they have this season. So, and judging what they did to us last season, there's a little bit of grudge going on there. So I think that that's going to happen. Kentucky, of course, is the tough one. And then to me, I think we beat Ohio State in the CBS Sports Classic in Atlanta. I don't know where Ohio State is like any of a big competition or anything like that. So to me, I see 12-0, maybe 11-1. I could be wrong, of course, but
I hope we got Ohio State too. My pastor's from Ohio, and he's a huge Ohio State fan. So again, that's another personal one for me. I want to be able to go to church with bragging rights on the Sunday after that one. So
I think you're gonna be all right this year, Coach. I think you're gonna be all right this year.
Some of these games are early too. You want to make sure they're ready for some of those big matchups early on, and that's why the summer is just so important. I'm jealous of that. We don't get to practice till the end of September. So our guys, we really don't know exactly what we have. We have so many new guys coming in and how they're going to mesh. But that's the advantage these Division I guys have.
Yeah.
So, uh, that's why I think that the balance is so much better. They'll get a chance to play some guys early. We talk about the bank a lot. How much good plays, bad plays have been either deposited or withdrawn from the kids' banks. But you got to give kids a chance in game time to be able to add to that bank. And I think a lot of the new guys are going to have to play, to make some of those deposits early on, so you can really see who needs to play. Those major minutes, especially late in the game against some of those bigger schools.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we still don't know who that 13th game is going to be. I think it's going to be a top 25 matchup, probably on the road again. But I mean, just because of the fact this schedule is nothing like the one last season, and we all know that Coach Davis loves to play tough games. And that playing the tough games isn't going to do anything but make the team better because you're playing stiffer competition. So I think that 13th game is going to be another top 25 team probably on the road, just because of the fact it's so uneven when you're looking at the home games versus the away games. What is that? 8-4 right there. Like 8 games at home, 4 games on the road. I mean, you're probably going to throw another away game on there. So it'll be, 8-5, which is probably where it should be. So, but the true test is the exhibition game, which I also think they're going to add another exhibition because they had 2 last season. So you may end up with another exhibition game. We just probably don't know who that's going to be. But that BYU game is going to be a huge test for UNC, because BYU, if I'm not mistaken, is a projected top 10 team this year. So I mean, it's not going to count, but that's going to, in a way, that's going to show who you are. And it would be good to make a statement to get that win, especially in Utah. And maybe silence the media a little bit, because they've been going a little crazy on us here lately. So that would be good to
tough place to play. That place could be rocking. Even for an exhibition game, that place is going to be going crazy. So you're right. That's going to be a great experience for those young kids to walk out and just experience what college basketball is really all about.
Yeah. And again, make the statement early that that says, hey, listen, the way that if they go in there and they beat BYU and they beat them pretty handily, like, make a statement. The media will come back and be like, well, yeah, it was an exhibition game, but wow, look what they did to BYU, who is a projected top 10 team. Like, it's going to make us now have second thoughts about BYU. It's the media game. We know how the media goes. So, but I love that matchup as well. Caleb gets a chance to play up against AJ. So, I mean, and let AJ know why he made the wrong decision as far as going to BYU other than coming to UNC. Like, go in there and knock them off their feet. That's what I say. But I could be wrong, Coach. I could be wrong.
It's going to be a great matchup early, and I think you want those tests to be able to find out exactly where you are, and then you can reevaluate and move forward. But you need those tests early to really get a better idea what you have, and what we kind of have an idea of what the hand is dealt, but those are the times where it's really revealed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so listen, Coach, of course, I appreciate you. Of course, I never want to take up too much of your time and everything, but of course, it's always an honor and a pleasure to be able to talk with you and everything. And of course, I mean, I already know that I got to get you back on before the season starts, just to see how you feel. We could discuss, summer camp, how it went, all of that, and get your thoughts. And you'll probably have some new thoughts, I'm sure, from the things that you have witnessed and seen. And we'll figure some things out in regards if you got to change your heart, or you still just gonna stay solid with what you said. So of course, I'm looking forward to that. But you always welcome here. Mi casa, su casa. You know how that goes or whatever. But again, I appreciate you. Yeah, for sure.
My pleasure. Anytime. You ask, I'll be here. So
Absolutely. And everybody, make sure that you all get out. Make sure that you all get Coach Rob's book. I always forget it, Coach. Carolina Basketball School. I always remember that part. I always want to make sure I get history, stories, and drills. That's the part I always forget, Coach. Every single time I have to look at the book. But I always say, I got it. But I never have it. I never have it. So I always have to look at it. But everybody, make sure you all get out there. Make sure you get a copy and purchase a copy of Coach Rob's book. It's an amazing book. It is, I mean, as I tell everybody all the time, 251 pages. But it is 251 pages of amazing stories and so many good things. Again, if you get it and you're in the Chapel Hill area or you plan on being in Chapel Hill next week, Coach Rob will be there for the basketball camp. You get a chance to get with him. Maybe he'll autograph it. Also, Coach already has autographed copies, and his email link and the link to get the book through Amazon will all be in the description. So make sure that you all please get out there and support Coach Rob. Again, 500 copies already sold. That is amazing. And Coach, I'm just proud of you, and I'll continue to support you in whatever you got going on for sure. But I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you very much. It's been a fun run. I actually was able to give Coach Williams a copy. Just hand him a copy at the JV game that we went to this year. So that's really what it's been about. Just being able to do those little things, and it's been a really special project, and I'm glad I was able to get it done. I'm glad I don't have to worry about it anymore.
I know that's right. Listen, I know the stories that you've had when it came to getting this book done. So, of course, a lot of hard work, dedication, but determination is it overpowered, and you got it done. And look how successful it is so far, which is an amazing thing. So, big hats off to you, and continue doing what you're doing. And of course, I'm definitely gonna get over there next week. I'm bringing the book. I'm bringing some stuff. I'm gonna try and bring you some merch. Hopefully, I can get some in time to bring you some merch and everything. I'll get some sizes from you, T-shirts and things like that. So I see.
I'll wear it during camp too. I'll make sure I wear it. Make sure the kids know. So you give me a shirt, I'll wear it and let everybody know about the show.
Absolutely, I appreciate that, Coach. I appreciate that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Coach Bill Robinson. We appreciate everybody for joining us. Listen, we just make sure everybody stays tapped in. I got some big things coming up. I don't know why my outro music isn't playing here, Coach. I tell you, since StreamYard was acting up here earlier, everything has just been lagging. But I mean, it is what it is. Listen, I'm not even gonna worry about it. But listen, we appreciate everybody. Again, all of Coach's description, the links to everything will be in the description below. Make sure you get out to Chapel Hill, see Coach Rob, get you a book. I'm gonna be out that way as well. So come out and get a chance to meet with us and maybe get some pictures and things like that. So, but until the next time, we'll talk to everybody on the flip side, and go Heels, Coach. Always, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We appreciate everybody.